All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Now, heads up, there's about a 30-second delay between what you guys see and when it's or when I speak and when it's broadcast. So if you type a question, give me about 30 seconds or so before that pops up to see it to come live here. But welcome. Today is Wednesday, August 31st, last day of the month. So I often get some kind of end of month window dressing here where funds are dumping stocks that are underperforming and adding new names coming in to the next month. It's obviously larger at the end of a quarter, but still get a little bit of that on a monthly basis. Now, we've had a pretty ugly week in the market. We'll just take a quick look at the indexes. So the big news was Friday when the Dow sold off by 1,000 points. NASDAQ came down 4% on the day, and that was this session right in here. Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chairman, came out and spoke at in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, was pretty aggressive about the fact he's going to continue raising interest rates. Market obviously did not like that. It did not price it in. Dow sells off big time. We've had 1, 2, and we're two more down days since then, and we're currently on sort of an inside day today, trading inside of yesterday's action. But so far, the market is not like this. Big news because we've come off the lows. I said back here in late July on the 19th or 20th, the low is in the market. We glide higher from here. We have done that. And then we just got this whiplash as we came off the 200-day moving average. And so now is really the time where the rubber meets the road. Either we get support buying and buyers step in here, defend this, and continue this bull market, or we come down, we retest the lows and likely undercut, meaning come down below here, make a new low. And if that happens, I've got a high level of confidence that would be the low in the market. Nothing we've seen has the indications of a enduring bear market like we saw in 2008, 2009. The big catalyst here is not a giant collapse type event. It's simply inflationary pressure and the fact the market kind of ran too fast, too hot, too quickly. And so now it's sort of an interesting environment in that the Fed is actually raising interest rates while we were in a bear market we've never seen before, but they're doing that to combat inflation, as that's seen as a bigger threat to the market than anything else. So what I'd like to do today, I just want to kind of fire through some stocks I'm keeping an eye on, some of my favorite names in the market. Studies have shown, and I've done studies on the best performing stocks for the last 100 years, that the best performing stocks, the biggest movers in the market over the last century, 96% of them have come after a market dip or a bear market. So coming off a correction or a bear market. So that means now the market is down. This is when the big leaders are emerging. This is a hugely important because most people want to just go away from the market right now. Even if you're not investing, you're not trading, this is the time to be watching for those leading stocks. Which stocks are here resisting the decline? Which stocks are making new highs when the market is just coming off its lows? Those are going to be your big leaders. And if you go back to March 2020, the COVID sell-off, the stocks that were making new highs within a month of that low, it was Peloton, it was Zoom, it was those stocks that ran 400-500% from there. So I'm going to identify a couple of names we're seeing leading right now. One of the big ones, probably my favorite stocks in the market right now, is Enphase Energy, ticker symbol ENPH. This is a solar energy stock. Solar stocks are doing extremely well right now. Enphase coming out as the market leader. The components they produce are in just about every solar powered home. And so it's kind of a pick and shovel play on the industry. You're not betting on them to be the market leader in the panels, but their software, their components, their semiconductors, their panels are in all those assemblies. And so as you see here, we bought this one in my Alpha Stock Service right here, and it just surged higher. I mean, the stock broke out, good earnings, went up 40% in just 2 weeks. But notice how the stock has held. This is one of the big things you want to look for. We often see stocks that make large advances higher. And is it too late to buy? Should I chase it? You want to see how it holds that move. A stock that makes a big surge higher and then comes back half or more of that is not showing you a lot of strength. A stock that makes a big surge higher and then stays and resists pulling back and holds, that's showing you that the buyers who are in here are not selling the stock. I think it has much higher to go. And so far with in phase, the stock has only come down about 10% from its high. So I like in phase a lot here. You'll notice the stock is holding right there on its 21-day EMA, the exponential moving average. And that's a great sign. It's a good support level. So consider buying I would consider buying in phase up here as long as it does not retrace and come back. You absolutely do not want to let it get back below this 50-day moving average, but I think it should hold up in here or potentially buy it on a new breakout above, 308, 309 area. Another stock I keep a close eye on, Neurocrine Biosciences. The biotech sector has been red hot lately. A lot of these stocks have made large advances, and NBIX is one of them. Those of you who are members of mine and know my strategy know this is a textbook breakout setup. I mean, it makes a big run up and then compresses nice and tight, and then just blows out the top on good volume. Is a textbook breakout. And just like we saw with in phase, the stock is holding up here. I mean, it went from 90 to 110 and just kind of drifting lower here. So I've got a trend line drawn on here, and sometimes it'll be flat depending on the price action. But I think if we break through this trend line, NBIX has a strong chance of making another move higher. Now, as I give you these stocks, remember this: if the market just sells off like it did Friday, we get a nasty, 1,000-point Dow drop, everything's going to come back a bit. I mean, even NBIX. Let's see, what did it do? Well, it actually held up. It gapped down just a little bit. The stock actually advanced on the day, but it's possible everything's going to just kind of stay where it is or pull back slightly if that happens. But when you really get the big winners is when you get a leading stock like this, you get it breaking out on good volume, and you've got the momentum of a bull market behind you. And so that's going to be kind of the secret recipe here. Another solar stock I like is Daqo. DQ is a ticker symbol. It's a Chinese stock. Don't normally love Chinese stocks, but this one held a big space in this industry. And this stock just emerging into a new stage 2 uptrend. You see the 200-day moving average kind of been drifting. Now it's sort of flattening out. And as the stock breaks out, so just begin to rise, which will be the beginning of a new stage 2 trend higher. So I'm looking for DQ to break out, surge through the $80 level and beyond. VRTX, another biotech. You'll notice I'm focusing only on the strongest sectors. And that's another sort of recipe for success in the market is, obviously, we need a strong market behind us, but you want to focus on the areas, the groups of stocks, the sectors showing the most strength, and then find the best stocks in those sectors. So, for example, the first half of this year, it was oil and gas stocks, it was fertilizer and chemical stocks, it was marine shipping stocks. Those groups all did really well. So pretty much any oil stock, any marine shipper made money. The best ones went up 70, 80, 100%. So that's what we're doing here. The strongest groups, solar, biotechs, medical, and we're trying to find the best stocks in those groups. VRTX, Vertex Pharmaceuticals, a big one, $72 billion company. But you see it's kind of drifting higher on rising support here. So you could potentially even buy this off this trend line support, looking for a move higher and sort of peel some off as we get up here into the 305, 310 area to secure partial profits and finance your risk on that one. Another one, ARGX, another biotech stock, setting up, big cup with handle. This one actually busted through right in here on the 22nd on good volume. The market just held it back. And so it sort of pulled back into this area. Waiting to see what happens with this one, but ARGX definitely on my list. NOC, Northrop Grumman. Aerospace defense company. Most of us are familiar with this one. This stock, again, setting up in a big breakout pattern where we've got just this condensing, tightening base here, shallowing up very nicely and looking, I think, a move through that 500, that century mark there at 500 could be a very powerful level for NOC. And you don't need to risk a ton of money. You buy here on new highs, you have a stop below the swing low, you're risking, call it 6% on this trade. One of my favorites actually breaking out. You can buy the stock right now, Altimmune, ALT. Now, Altimmune, I mean, look what this stock has done. Since May, it's gone from $5 to $20. Huge power move here and just textbook breakout stuff. Big run up. Notice what I talked about earlier. See how just a limited retracement made this powerful move. The stock triples in a month and then just holds up here. It's exactly what you want to see. Little retracement. Boom, busts out to new high. Again, holding. Now breaking out again today. Volume coming in. We've seen 800,000 shares traded in the first hour and a half of the market. That's half what it normally sees in a day. This is going to be a big volume breakout. I think it's a great spot to buy Altimmune right in here. In fact, this will likely be an official recommendation, my Fire Trader service, as long as it closes above this $20 mark for another move higher. All right, one more I'm looking at, ARRY. ARRY, it's Array Technologies. And I'm pulling the financials on this on another page. This is another solar energy stock. Big sales growth. It's been growing sales around 22% a quarter. Last quarter, it doubled its sales. Earnings finally coming in strong, high relative strength. The number of funds owning this stock is increasing. One of the top names in the sector. Again, another solar stock. We're just focusing on the strong areas, but look at what this stock has done. It's gone from $9 to $24 in just a month. Big mover so far. The retracement has been capped at 21% or so. So I'd like to see it under 25%. That's fine. You notice I've got an alert set here, this orange line, looking to buy this on a breakthrough of this, $23.70, $24 area into new highs. So exactly what we want to see. The volume footprints are beautiful on this one. Another clue for finding strong stocks. You want to see big volume on the up days when it breaks higher. When it retraces here, you want to see volume drift lower as the stock holds. What that's showing you is that no one is selling. The stock's becoming harder to buy, and there's fewer shares being offered. And then you want to see volume spike up when the stock breaks through. And if you see that, that's a good sign that you're into a good trade, and you want to hold that for a strong move. You don't want to peel this one off at 10 or 12%. You want to hold that if you see it for 20, 30% higher. So always watch the volume. And it's not really rocket science. You're just kind of looking at this for clues to what's going on. So back in here, there's lots of big selling volume, not an area that makes me excited. Then as it advances up here, the selling volume dies off and the big volume's coming in on the buy side as the stock turns higher. That's what we want to see. We want to see big institutional buying. Big funds, big mutual funds and hedge funds have the power. They've got the deep pockets. They're the ones that move stocks. So we're always looking for clues as to what they're doing, how participating in these issues, and trying to piggyback on their moves. And we'll look at one more, another biotech stock. This is Rhythm Pharmaceuticals, ticker symbol RYTM. RYTM is the ticker. Huge move here coming off the lows. This was a stock that was in decline for several years. It went from 40 to 20 to 10, all the way down to $3 a share. And then boom, look at the volume. I talked about using volume for clues there. Look at the daily trading volume on the bottom. Look at how low it was for years, all back here. Never saw more than 3 million share traded. And then boom, 30 million shares in a single day. That is institutional buying activity. That's big funds coming in on the stock. That's the kind of action you want to follow. And so these guys aren't day trading this stock. They're buying it for long-term moves. And so, they're picking this thing up here, $4, $5, $10 a share, powered it higher. And we have, once again, you saw the line I've got pulled up, limited retracement, breaks out again on good volume, comes up and now kind of drifting sideways. So I've again drawn sort of this down trend line here on RYTM. If we break through that on good volume, look for a spike in the volume on the day it comes. I think you've got another leg higher in RYTM. And this thing can make moves. I mean, look at this. Even after the stock was up 220% in 10 days, it breaks out again and runs another 78% in 2 weeks. So don't think the stock cannot bust through here and go from 25 to 40 or 50 in another few weeks. All right. RYTM on my watch list. So that's the main ones I'm keeping an eye on. Again, I'm focusing on the strongest areas in the market. I'm looking at solar. I'm looking at biotech. There's a handful of other areas beginning to show strength, but those are the top ones right now, and it's where I'm focusing my energy. So if you have any questions on these, feel free, type it in the comments. We'll come back and answer any of those as we see them. But that's the big stocks I'm watching: Enphase, Neurocrine Biosciences, Dayquo Energy, Vertex, ARGX, Northrop Grumman, another one here. Altimmune powering out. This is on a move here to buy currently. ARRY, another solar stock, and then RYTM, Rhythm Pharmaceuticals. So hopefully that helps. Put some stocks in your watch list, gives you a few areas to focus on. Any other questions, type them in the comments, and we'll come back and answer those as well. We'll see you guys on the next live session.